roster review, and I got to be honest. Number one, I've been getting a lot of people reaching out on YouTube and just through my Discord and saying that they really enjoyed these, which I mean, I honestly didn't expect that at all. It's really just me rambling on and on about different accounts that I come across or people ask me about. Um, so it is nice to hear. I really do like that positivity, especially being, the small fish. Like if Arnold is like the Ryan Reynolds of the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community, loved by most people and hated by a small amount. I don't know where that puts me. I'd like to think Timothy Chalamet. He's kind of cute, I guess. He's got a tiny horse. But we can debate that later. One thing I want to ask. I've heard some mixed things about the audio. I did just buy a mic. It's coming in tomorrow, the next day, and we'll see how that works. But I was under the assumption that I can be heard. I'd like to hear from some people, other than ones that I have heard from, just to make sure, try to project myself as best I can, and so just let me know what you hear. I got another one for you today. This one's been in the backlog for like 3-4 days. Have not looked at it yet. The only thing that I do is, unfortunately, when I parse things from Discord into notes, it gives me like a long paragraph. So I kind of just very quickly cut it. I would appreciate your help. My fleet chart is filled with super players, super awesome. We constantly rotate the first place. I've been catching first place almost every day for more than a year. Only 5 Leviathans, okay, all 7 stars, all Sith Assassin are R5, which is awesome. My fleet shard thankfully stopped the arms race at R8. I'm really dreading the day that somebody gets an R9 for like GAC or something. Profundities, Executors, CT1, 7-7, Forest Moon, and Secret of Shadows are missing. That's interesting. Now, when we say missing, I found a lot of people lately have been flubbing the CT1, so I'm just going to double check about the Night Sisters there. In Conquest, I comfortably hit the gold crate. I'm building Jedi Knight Cal Kestis for mainly GAC, with the plus of him being in TB. Awesome in TB. Saves me tons of time. My initial goal was to hit a high rank in CAG, GAC. Related to the account size, currently I'm in K2. As long as I stay in Kyber, I'm happy with that. Brief about fleets in GAC to compete with the fleet at my ranking. I need all the top meta fleets, including the newest ships. Because of that, I'll be investing in whatever is released next or a future-proof fleet like Profundity. I am super pro getting on board, and that will help with GAC 2. All my opponents have every fleet at their disposal, almost all the toys available in the game. The way I climb is to have a strong south wall defense, give the north to the opponent, and take the south. I place my best fleet in defense to reduce the banner efficiency for the opponent. The goal is to shift the focus from GAC to a more efficient guild-driven account, and I'm honestly not sure what's best to build next with that in mind. Another side goal for 2024 is basically to increase my spending. Goal is very active and has very steep growth since I joined in every aspect of the game. It's really enjoyable to be part of the growth. The first raid was 140 million and the last is 207. We also started the Reva mission in August. We have 7 GI and 5 are coming very soon. So it does sound like Reva is starting to become a priority for these guys. Let's see what we got. 7 million account. I just want to check out the guild and see where we're at. 355. So I've been seeing a lot of people in guilds that are around the 350 to about 400 range and haven't seen GI being too much of a priority with them. So it's nice that I have that information to know that if I were to look at the GIs right now, even though that's low, that the guild has started pushing that, and we'll kind of keep that in mind. Let's see what we got. All right, I'm on the guild screen. Silly me. G2, K2 rather. Very nice for this size. So we are looking at 4GL. Probably has bought both Lightspeed bundles. I'm willing to bet he probably has SK2. Yep. I'm not joking about the spending, which is fine as long as you're not spending just to spend and you have, goals in mind. We know that we have Leviathan. Let's see what we're at. So we have Kylo Ray. We have Luke. Honestly, you could probably hit red crate with this account if you really think about it and you take your time. But is it worth it? I mean, that depends. So we already have the Grand Inquisitor. Working towards Cal. Okay, Profundity. Leia. Okay, let's see what some of this stuff looks like. Oh, I shouldn't do that. It'll be copyright infringement or something. All right, so these guys are fairly low. I'm going to assume that he did not make the mistake, though, by saying CT1 here, because Merrin has shown that you can hit it pretty low. If you haven't, if that was a mistake, get Talzin, Daka, Ventress, and Zombie to G12. Call it a day. You'll be able to get CT1, maybe even CT2. If you have, don't even worry about it. I love the Night Sisters. They're amazing. They're great for TB. They're awesome as a cleanup in GAC, or to start the cleanup in GAC. But now is not the time to work on them. Forest Moon. Imperial Troopers. Okay, just Piet. Separatists. Separatists are low. Let's just see the Empire. Okay. Okay, interesting. Now, I have heard, but I have not seen any video evidence yet, and I've only heard it once or twice, so I'm not fully sure if this is true. I haven't tested it myself. But I've heard that Riva Inquisitors can do Forest Moon, and it seems like you're on the path to that. And the one thing that makes me nervous about saying you should go for C specifically for these types of things is that by the time you get him, you'll likely have Riva or Third Sister, tomato. But if we are getting gold crate constantly and consistently, you know, that might be something to consider with Bane on the horizon. Let's see what we got. We have Jabba, Drogon, Scout. I always forget these motherfuckers. Nessa and Drogon, Scout, Nessa, and Rex. And everybody has Rex. What to do? Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got for his ships. What about that new one? Do we have Comeuppance? Not yet. So we did not unlock Comeuppance. We didn't really participate in that. Oh, no, we did. Okay, 5-star Comeuppance. I'm not super familiar with Comeuppance. Oh, right, because it's COM. Silly me. Make jokes in the comments. Haha. He was being a dork and childish. I'm not super familiar with Comeuppance and what it can do just yet. I know that it can post really high damage numbers in a resistance fleet, and with that in mind, and even at a lower star, you might want to start really kind of considering at least slow farming Star Fortress, right? As someone who is putting your best fleets on defense, even if you're taking the south, you may sometimes clear the top. Having something that probably is going to be able to take out Executor in one shot. Again, not super familiar yet, but that's kind of where we're seeing it. It might be worth doing, especially at 5 battles a day, it's really not large. It doesn't cost you too much at all. Let's see. I love Vader. I know people really don't like him, but I really like Vader. No, we have Malleus because we have Leviathan, right? It's my ADD kicking in, yeah. Let's just see where our bad batch is. Interesting, haven't even really started it. And that's a shame just because, again, it does really power up the Negotiator fleet. Especially having Negotiator, it's such a beautiful ship. And it's going to be helpful in TB as well. I run it on auto on some of the nodes. But is it a priority? Maybe not. I would say, you know, if we're thinking about fleet and we're thinking about the way that you're climbing in GAC, profundity is probably some degree of priority, so I'd really be working towards that. The nice thing, I know you're fairly close, but the nice thing about working for it now is you don't necessarily need to 7-star it right away, right? I know you kind of want to, but we're looking at a fleet shift in the next 6 to 7 months, so you're going to want to have some degree of horde. I know you're going to spend, but you know, you don't want to go too crazy when it's a ship that you're not going to necessarily need at 7-star right away. And you might consider getting to it and doing like 2 or 3 refreshes a month instead of doing like the 19 right off of the bat. Profile. Man, there's so many ways that we could go. C is not really going to help the guild so much, but if you're hitting that gold crate consistently, you know, Bane is going to be solid. Let's take another look at this. $930. Pretty far from, not terribly. Kenobi is great. I don't see him as a priority anymore. I'm assuming that you have, my God. Oof. My dude, Commander Ahsoka Tano kicks ass even. Oh my God. Even without Kenobi. Not as good, but okay. Alright, I'm okay. I'm okay. Even if you throw her with like Rey or something, get that fucker up. Let's take a look at these guys again. Drogon. I know we already have Piet. Nessa is already done. Rex is already done. Scout is already done. The most amount of shards we could possibly need for Drogon is 185. Okay, let's pop this out. 185. You would think I'd have this math in my head. 185 times 3 divided by 5. You're looking at divided by 30. 3.5 months at a slow farm. What if we do 185 times 3 divided by 7? 185 times 3 divided by 7.574. Okay, that's more reasonable. What I would maybe suggest is doing a half refresh on Drogon, which basically means doing 1 day on, 1 day off of Drogon refreshes. And that can be really hard to keep in your head. So you can kind of think of it the same way as if it's going to take you, let's see, times 30, if it's going to take you 74 days to get him to 7 stars, then, you know, for the next month, refresh him. maybe month plus a few days, month and a week, and then stop refreshing him. You'll be a little bit closer. At this point, I think I would say go for Leia, right? Profundity and into Leia. That's going to help with the raid, not necessarily too much because you're already hitting that 208 box, or you're close to hitting that 208 box. By the time you get her, you're going to hit that 208 box. You're going to have Ender Escalation 3, which is not super amazing, but it's still helpful to have. It'll help your guild in TB. They can, they work really well in TB, the Leia squad. And you're just close to it. I would strongly consider going for C afterwards. And here's the thing. One, C is going to be really great in getting you that CT3 on Forest Moon, just from having the other 2 Imperial Troopers. But like I said, I'm pretty sure Third Sister can help you with that. I don't have a 100% on that. Side note, I'm just noticing I did not fresh this up to the top because I am a dumb ass, but that's okay. It'll help you with that. C's not amazing in territory battles, but he's useful with Watt. But with Bane upcoming, that could completely change. I know it's not territory battles oriented, but he does look really solid. I know he works great, rule of 2, blah, blah, blah. But this might still change that viability. You'll know enough at that point. I would say Profundity into Leia, into C, because you will have C in the next, 2, 3, 4 months total. After that, we're looking at going into the summer, and you're going to be seeing that next fleet kind of be announced, and we have no idea what that's going to be. We have no idea what that's going to look like. We have no idea what to expect. So I would not plan too super far ahead. It could be completely out of the blue. Some people are saying, Trench. We've had it alluded to Trench when Trench first came out, and your Separatists are not super great, but we don't know. Okay, so for right now, I'd say Profundity, Leia, C. Let's just take a couple other looks at some other things. Again, Cat, get her up. Throw her with Ray or something. She's awesome. 501st. Okay. Oof. God. What about gas? I know my Separatists are low. I would really try to go for gas too. Get those Separatists a little bit higher. Start slow farming those shards for, Arc, I think is a Cantina, but it's been so long. Start slow farming those shards for Echo. Maybe throw that in. Start the slow farm of those shards while you're slow farming stuff with Profundity. Just kind of take that hit. Try to tie that in between Profundity and Leia to get gas. That is going to help your Jedi. That is going to help your GAC. That is going to help your guild in territory battles. And on the very, very small off chance that Trench happens to be the next big thing we're expecting for fleets, which makes sense. We're going, into the Phantom Menace for 2024, which I know is not Trench, but it is still the same prequel timeline. You'll have Separatists that are more manageable, oh my god, I don't think I've seen a 7.5 million account without like Grievous at R7 in a long time. With Droidica, great on in TW with the Omicron. Please strongly consider it. Profundity, Gas, Leia, C. Just take a look, just because I've already seen some surprises here. Okay, thank God. What do we got for Treya? Treya, we got Nil. Yes, we built that squad. Let's see what's kind of missing here. Now let's take a look at that. Marin, I know we have. Fuck, what are her requirements? His requirements. Seer, okay. No, not Jenny. Cal is alright. Saw. Alright, so not too far off. Not too far off at all. And what's his name? Tarful, right? Tarful. Okay. I don't know how far into those shards you are for Saw. I would say slow farm, you know, the max is 100 shards. I'm sure you're much closer, times 3 divided by 5, but that's 2 months, and that event could be coming at any minute, so I'm really nervous to say slow farm it. I would say that if you are at 70 shards or more, slow farm it. If you're below 70 shards right now, then try to get at least 1 refresh in. So again, profundity, get gas in there, Leia, C. On the subject of spending, I am super pro spend whatever the fuck you want on whatever you want. If you have the disposable income, if you are able to do that without affecting your life in any, you know, kind of negative way, I'm not here to tell you to not spend money. I am super pro spending. I have not spent since Marin, largely because I feel like there are a lot of criticisms of CG that I have, and I do believe that if there were some quality of life changes, that I would go back to dropping, you know, $10, maybe $20 a month. What I will say is be very careful what you're spending on. Make sure that you're getting the best deal for the specific thing that you're spending on. Sometimes people fall into the trap of spending on marquee packs for certain things, and they realize that they're so far away from other things that having something quicker doesn't actually help them. So what's really important with your farms is to try and get a good guesstimate of how long each individual thing will take. You know, I had my calculator out before. I was trying to figure out your shards. It's a little bit harder to do with gear, a little bit easier now the way that the raids are structured and it being less random. But if you're able to get shards up in 3 months and it's going to take you 5 months to do the rest of the things for a GL, it doesn't make sense to speed that up with money. You know, there are a lot of great YouTube videos and a lot of great content creators who do like different types of analyses. I have been doing them on Reddit for a very long time. They're all text-based. I'm working on slowly transitioning some of them to a video format. But just anytime you're willing to take out your credit card, the first thing you need to do is just ask yourself, is this actually helping me? And if the answer is yes, if it's speeding something up, then by all means do it. If the answer is, oh, I'll have this, but that thing is still going to take me a little bit longer and I need both, then consider either spending towards the thing that's going to take you a little bit longer or holding off in that particular instance. You know what, the last thing that I wanted to check, I know that you have this in particular, but I just wanted to see that you are ready for Riva. If you have any questions, you know, feel free. You have my Discord. Shoot me a message. We can go back and forth on things, but hopefully that clears some stuff up for you.